Hello and welcome to another Modswell video. I'm your host Maxwell. Today we're going to be once again taking a look at my top 5 mods of the week. If you think there's another mod that should have made it onto this list, then please don't hesitate to share that in the comments section. That's enough of an intro though, so let's just get started. In my 5th spot we have Cernunnos by Fourth Unknown. I genuinely spent about an hour trying to work out how to pronounce this word, and to the best of what I could find, it's Cernun and Hernaz, or Cernunnos, meaning the horned ones. And that is extremely fitting. This mod adds in a brand new spawn to the world. They're a new style of stag in essence, designed somewhat on the Celtic horned gods in their stag form, wrapped up in nature with tree branches, leaves and ivy completely covering their bodies. These beasts could be found in the forested areas such as the Rift or Falkreath, and they really do suit those areas. I always like to put my own spin on things, and I've been seeing these as the Spriggan's version of a stag. I mean, if there are so many flesh creatures, why wouldn't there be more tree-based ones too? An order with these and Gods of the Old Hunt would feel thematically like an extension on that premise, and creating the beginnings of a fascinating forest-style build. I love mods like these, that not only add to my experience, but also give me new ways to play, new things to hope for, and a potential for a new order style. Will-o'-the-Wisp has been porting a ton of really high quality Fourth Unknown mods that have this style that blends really well with how I want my game to look. Willow always manages to keep the cost down too, with 12.1 megabytes being really achievable in any order. I highly recommend giving this mod a try. Moving on to number 4, we actually have a 2 for the price of 1. Recently Clovis has been going through and uploading individual components of the mod Emily, Skyrim Immersion series. 2 in particular really stood out to me. Firstly, Evolving Value Economy. This mod changes world values to fluctuate depending on a few factors: location, time of year, or how deep into main quest you are. Essentially, it works on supply and demand. Say you're in an area like Windhelm during the winter, the war is still going on, some items like food can cost and sell for a little bit more than normal. Weapons and armour won't cost as much, as they simply don't have the money for more expensive things, so they can't pay enough. But then, let's say you've ended the war, it's summer, you're over in Solitude, a nice rich area. Your food isn't going to make you much money as their land is fertile, so there's less need. But your weapons, armours, clothes or jewellery, those are going to fetch you a pretty price. Of course, all of this works in reverse too, so you can fall victim to higher prices. Another cool change that this mod makes is crimes, where certain activities can result in higher costs. For example, getting caught as a werewolf in Falkreath is just a bad idea. You can almost work out the worst acts on a town by town basis due to their history, which is definitely a fun thing to test for yourself. EVE is designed to be highly compatible with other edits too. By simply running a script periodically, it edits prices, which means it will eventually overwrite any edited values without causing issues. And as a final topper, it's only going to set you back 47.5 kilobytes. The second mod is far more simple, More Immersive Activations, or MIA, which is going to change what you see when it comes to activating objects. For example, instead of Activate Forge, it's Forge Equipment. Instead of Activate Alchemy Lab, it's Mix Ingredients, and a bunch of other really nice touches similar to this. But honestly, my favourite thing about this mod is how it changes NPCs' names to a generic version of what they are. For example, Male Nord or Female Bosma. After you've spoken to them, their name will appear, which is genuinely just a great idea, and I'm unsure as to why this wasn't always the case. I know there are other mods out there that do something similar, but this mod just does it better if you ask me. And it does it for 46.3 kilobytes, which makes it a top immersive pick for next to no cost. I'm going to leave a link to both of these mods as well as the all-in-one for anyone curious about what that involves, but it's definitely time for me to move on to my next mod. In third, we have yet another Clovis port. This time it's Cathedral Smooth Transparent Waters. This is actually a combo mod set up with Cathedral water bug fixes including smooth edges, smooth water textures and transparent waters. There is another version which also includes new water foam textures, however for the sake of this video I am not using that version. Over the course of this game we have received all manner of edits to water. It's a huge sticking point to making the world look great with amazing mods like Cathedral Water or Realistic Water 2 and Glassy Waters, but this feels like an update to Cathedral, creating a look in line with something that you'd expect from Glacial Water, which is essentially exactly what you would expect in a world like Tamriel. Cathedral was designed to suit weathers with nicer reflections across the water. This update takes that a few stages further. Due to the transparent and smoother waters, the reflections of light take hold in a really beautiful way, leading to some outstanding shots and views. You also get access to the water's edge fixes, meaning they look less buggy and ugly. But here's where it gets really surprising. This only costs 2.49 megabytes, which is a quarter of the original Cathedral water's cost. The new transparent waters mean less textures are required to get the right look. However, if you have the space and love foamy waters, then you should definitely check out the secondary version, which I've also linked in the description. That version contains a few extra textures, and as such bumps the cost up to 13.3 megabytes, which for great waters is still an excellent cost. But I've harped on about water for long enough now. So let's move on to my second favourite mod of the week. Here I've chosen two-handed animations inspired by Guts from Beserk, which is quite a mouthful I know, so I'm just going to call it Guts. This mod seeks to change up all of the power attack animations when using two-handed weapons to those used by Guts from Beserk. Now, I'm not going to lie, these animations are quite a lot. Slightly anime and extremely aggressive, but they actually really blend well with the game. Each directional attack has been changed, and as an avid fan of animations mods, I simply had to check that out for myself. When testing out a mod like this, I'm really after seeing two things. How good does it look, and how effective is it in combat? I was really surprised by this one, because each new motion was extremely easy to use. Maneuvering for an attack never took too long, and the learning curve was actually really small. The way it looks lends itself to a few styles of play as well. Not only would it suit a vanilla plus style order, but it also fits in with any heavy warrior build, and of course any anime style as well. But beyond that, I wasn't too sure, so I pulled out a two-handed katana to see if it would be fitting for a samurai. And I was pleasantly surprised that a mere change of blade made the animations feel different, in a really good way. Now, maybe this was my head attributing the blade to that style and therefore just being happy with the result, but honestly, it instantly looked more fitting to a samurai build the second I did. And that's kind of the story with this mod. It's the right weapon selection away from fitting a new style, which is hugely important for animations. It means you can just leave them in your order and forget about them. And with this mod costing a mere 59.5 kilobytes, that's really easily done. I've waxed lyrical about this for long enough, so I am going to move on now. Finally, it's time for my top mod of the week. And this time it's... wow, that's surprising, it's a Stubsteel combo mod. This one contains over 20 mods, some of which are absolute fan favourites, others are hidden gems that can totally change the way you perceive the world. The mod in question is Living World Bundle 2. Because of the depth of this mod, I physically can't speak about or show you everything, so I'm going to highlight some of the large changes that are going to make the biggest differences, such as reverb and ambience overhaul, which I know a ton of you are using already, and for good reason. It changes how you hear nearly everything in the game, both modded in and vanilla. Sounds reverberate around the world space and interiors, adding so much to the atmosphere, and in certain scenarios even creating extra tension. But this mod covers more than just sound. You'll also get mods like Ancient Lands, Better Dwemer Exteriors, Bridges, Ferries and Fords, Hidden Hideouts, Interesting Roads, more critters, more dirt, snow, ash on the road and Nordic ruins. All of which change what you see whilst you're walking the road. It adds in hundreds of new scenes to explore and enjoy. Landmarks down every road, or even in the wilderness, making your game look so totally different. Almost like a living world that's evolving with elements from the past crumbling away across the map. Mixed in with spots from the present with roads looking more used and more lived in. It's in line with what you'd expect in these environments. I mean seriously, why does Skyrim pretend there are road sweepers out there keeping their cobblestones clean? Every aspect of this mod is put together to help create a cohesive and intelligent space. Stubsteel has clearly put a lot of time and effort into this, thinking about every aspect of what he would expect to see. I happen to agree with his vision and appreciate all the little touches that have been thrown together here. But I am a somewhat honest man. There are definitely a few occasions where lack of LOD can draw you away from the moment, but those pale in comparison to the realism and immersion added by this mod. And as including a LOD to this many additions would have thrown that cost up to a dizzying height, I can state that it won't bother me too much. This mod, or bunch of mods, is going to cost you a mere 29.39 megabytes, which is superbly reasonable for everything it adds and how fresh it makes your game feel. However, as so many world edits are being made, you will need to think about what you're using alongside it. My main world edit is always more bandit camps, and currently that's working absolutely fine, but others might not be so lucky, so do check for those compatibility issues. I know Substill is always looking to expand upon his mods, which saves us more and more slots, so be on the lookout for updates to this mod. However, as it is right now, I am severely impressed. But on that, I am going to call it. I would love for all of you to come and join us over on the Discord server. We discuss mods, get perms for authors, help with load orders, and discuss all manner of strange and wonderful things. You'll find a link to that and all the mods mentioned today in the description. If this has helped, I would really appreciate those likes, comments, and of course subscriptions. They let me know that you want more content like this, and they push my work out further with YouTube's algorithm. But either way, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.